their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. Please repeat the translation. These servants of mine have transgressed against you, and not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me if you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. From this statement we can understand how anxious the Lord is to get his servitor back into Vaikuntha. This incident therefore proves that those who have once entered a Vaikuntha planet can never fall down. The case of Jaya Vijaya is not a fall down, it was just an accident. The Lord is always anxious to get such devotees back again to the Vaikuntha planets as soon as possible. It is to be assumed that there is no possibility of misunderstanding between the Lord and the devotees. But when there are discrepancies or disruptions between one devotee and another, one has to suffer the consequences, although that suffering is temporary. The Lord is so kind to his devotees that he took all the responsibility for the doorman's offense and requested the sages to give them facilities to return to Vaikuntha as soon as possible. Presents the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuram militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Nama om Vishnu padaya Krishna preshtaya bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamy niti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the Lord is requesting the sages on their behalf, on his servants' behalf, to forgive them and give them an opportunity of reformation to come back fast. So this explains the mood and mentality of the Lord, how Lord is anxious for his devotees. Says, Tanme Swavartur Avasayam Alakshamano. Tanme, therefore, my Swavartuhu, the master, Avasayam Alakshamano, not knowing the intention or the mood and understanding of their master, the doorman, not understanding the mood and understanding of Lord Vishnu. Yusmad Vetikrama Gatim Pratipadya Sadhya. Yusmad, unto you, Vetikramaha, they have offended you. They have transgressed against you, not knowing my intention. Gatim Pratipadyaha, they will be suffering because of this transgression. And you have sanctioned that. Sadhyaha, immediately, so that after they finish their transgression, reap their results. Bhuyo mamantikam itamte anugrahome. Bhuyo mamantikam. They can return back to me. Mama antikam. Once they suffer the destined punishment, bhuyo, again, mama antikam, they can come back to me. Itam tad anugrahome. I take it this as favor granted upon me. Anugraha. This is a favor upon me, Lord is saying. Yat kalpatam achirato bhrutyor vivasaha. So let this be arranged in such a way that yat kalpatam achirataha, very soon, bhrutyoho, my assistants, my servants, my doormen, vivasaha, their exile be finished very soon. Let it be arranged in such a way that they will come back fast and come back into my service, into my association. So it says, these servants of mine, Bhrutyaha, have transgressed against you, Yusmat Vyatikrama Gatim. Not knowing the mind of their master, Tanme Swabartur Avasayam Alakshamanaha. Because they could not understand that I am Brahmanya Devaha, I am the master of the Brahmanas and the cows. And they are all great Brahmanas, great devotees. The anxiety what they have for me, the curiosity to understand me, the jijnasata, because of which they had approached Vaikuntha Loka. So this is actually not an incident, but it is an accident by the will of the Lord. That's what it is said in the purport also. It says, I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me, tad anugraho me. If you order that, yat kalpatam, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, gatim pratipadyaha, they may return to my presence soon. Sadhyaha bhuyo mamantikamitam. Sadhyaha means immediately, in a flash, in a moment. And the time of their exile from my abode may expire very soon, before long. Achirato vivasaha. See how Lord is exhibiting his anxiousness for his devotees to come back. The purport also Prabhupada says, from this statement we understand how long Lord is anxious to get his servitor back into Vaikuntha. So this is the mood and mentality of the Lord. He wants his devotees to come back as early as possible. The case of Jai Vijaya is not a fall down, it is an accident. Because it is the will of the Lord by which Jai Vijaya's incident happened. It is not that intentionally they had offended somebody. The Lord is so kind to his devotees that he took all the responsibility for the doorman's offense and requested the sages to give them facilities to return to Vaikuntha as soon as possible. So this proves the character of the Lord. Like a gentleman he behaved. Even though servant had committed an offense, Lord took the responsibility of that offense. Even if the devotees fall down, they remain affectionately attached to their Lord. See, the mood the master has suffered on behalf of the servant's activity, the servant also will try to give that commitment to the master. That's why the devotees are also, even though there is a punishment, they are always attached to the Lord. They will never leave the Lord in whatever situation they are there. Either in the material world, even if they come here, there will not be any grudge against the Lord because the Lord had sanctioned me to go here. So some similar perspectives, Prabhupada explains this concept in various places. He says, the Lord gives protection to his devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental loving service, and by his causeless mercy, he forgives the accidental fall of a devotee. So this is not an intentional purpose. If it is done on an accidental purpose, Lord forgives that devotee. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.30. Sadhurev samantavya samyak vavishito hisa. If unintentionally or out of some bad habit or old habit, if a devotee commits a mistake and comes back to the Lord and prays to the Lord for forgiveness and says, from now I will not commit that mistake once again. He repents for his mistake and he reforms by that situation. The Lord assures him that he will not fall down. The Lord will treat him like sadhu revasa mantavya. He is a sadhu. And he is properly situated. Samyak vyavishito hisa. And when next further he says, Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashyati. Oh my dear Arjuna, you declare to the whole world, my devotee will never perish like an ordinary man. Because he is especially protected by the Lord. Because of his commitment to the Lord, Lord gives a commitment for him of his protection. If a sincere devotee somehow falls down, the Lord corrects him and saves him from gliding down to the darkest region of hellish life. First is correction, then is protection. Because of his sincerity. So Lord corrects him and protects him. Devotees generally do not fall down, but if circumstantially they do, the Lord, because of their strong attachment to him, gives them protection in all circumstances. Thus, even if devotees fall down, they are still strong enough to traverse the heads of their enemies. Even if they come to material world, they are strong enough because of the blessings of the Lord, because of the all-round protection of the Lord. A similar circumstances we come across in Chaitanya Charitamrita. See, the whole mood and understanding we see in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How Krishna himself has come to this material world anxiously to revive the lost relationship of the living entity and to give them an opportunity of going back home, back to Godhead in a shortest and easiest way. His entire incarnation, that's why is Namo Mahavadanyaya, the most magnanimous incarnation. So when in that pastime, in that incarnation, certain pastimes will prove his mentality. One such incident happened with Chota Haridas. One more devotee had asked Chota Haridas to go to some elderly Vaishnavi's house to get some special rice by which he can cook and feed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when that devotee brought that rice and handed over, and feast was prepared and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was offered the food. While Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was eating, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked that devotee, where did you get this rice, which is such a fine quality? The devotee mentioned, I got it from so and so house. Chota Haridas went there and brought that food for me, rice for me. Then after eating prasadam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out and he informed Govinda, from today, do not allow Chota Haridas into my association. So then Chota Haridas became very hard, like it's like a thunderbolt upon him. He could not bear the separation from the Lord. So he started crying, he started fasting. So various devotees tried to persuade Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to convince him to take back Chota Haridas. But Lord was very persistent. He did not want to take him back. So what was the fault? What had happened there? Chota Haridas, when he went there, what mistake was he committed? What did he do? At whom? No, that woman was elderly Vaishnavi. There was some young woman in that house, it seems, where he lustfully glanced upon them, not on that elderly Vaishnava. Prabhupada says in one lecture this context. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand the sense gratification mentality in a sannyasi, because he is under a sannyasi dress. He should completely cut off any other activity connected with sense enjoyment. So with this request, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, Chota Haridas is not to be allowed into my association. Many people came and requested. Swarup Damodar, many others also. Paramananda Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so angry. For 1 year, this punishment happened. After 1 year, since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not inviting him, Chota Haridas went to Triveni Sangama. Thinking of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, he quit his body by entering into the water and accepted a Gandharva Sharira, and he used to come back and sing for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the night for his pleasure. He is a great singer. So he used to come back and he used to sing for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the night. So devotees used to hear that sound, but they were not sure where that sound is coming, because he was not singing from a gross body, he was singing from a subtle body. But they were able to identify that voice is of Chota Haridas. So devotees were all murmuring, what is happening, who is that person singing? Dead of the night, suddenly somebody comes and sings with no Sharira here. Everybody will be frightened whether it is some ghost who is singing. But ghost, how can it sing holy name? It's not possible for ghost to sing holy name. So they were all contemplating, who is this personality, how is this possible? Then Swarup Damodara said there should be some internal meaning for which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have enacted something. We will get to know later when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals it to us. After 1 year period, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one day said, okay, Chota Haridas can be brought back into my association. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows already he had quit his body. So then devotees inform him Chota Haridas had committed suicide. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, he has done correct. The punishment what for he has done, the mistake, it is an appropriate thing. Now in this context, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains what we should learn from this entire scenario. He gives 7 points. He says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed that a pure devotee should be simple and free from sinful activities. For thus one can attain the bona fide servant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his followers how to observe the renounced order strictly. First injunction is, as a sannyasi, how he should behave. Chota Haridas was a sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was setting standard for sannyasi order. Second one, first one was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although an incarnation of mercy, he nevertheless gave up the company of one of his associates, Junior Haridasa. If he had not done so, pseudo devotees would have taken advantage of this Haridasa's fault by using it as an excuse to commit all sinful activities and do devotional life. So such activities would have demoralized the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as a result, devotees would surely have gone to hellish life in the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting a standard. Or else, if correction is not there, everybody will take that as an example. By chastising Junior Haridasa, Lord set the standard for acharyas and for all actual devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to have a very high standard. This is a standard set by two acharyas, how they have to accept a disciple, how they have to take consideration if somebody commits a mistake. For the devotee should be exemplary, acharya should be very strict. Next, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to prove that his devotees are exalted and their character is ideal. He kindly accepts his faithful devotee and teaches them how much tribulation and disturbance can be produced by even a slight deviation from a strict principles of bhakti. By chastising Junior Haridasa, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his mercy towards him by showing how elevated was Junior Haridasa's devotion to him. Because of his transcendental relationship, the Lord corrected even a slight offense committed by his pure devotee. If one dies in such a celebrated holy place as Prayag, Mathura or Vrindavan, one can be released for all sinful life and attain the shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. But that is very high standard, not recommended for, because it will be like a committing suicide. Prabhupada later explained that situation. Although a pure devotee may fall down, he nevertheless ultimately gets the chance to go back home, back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord. This is, in a moment something happened, only in the mind, not in a gross way also. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict. So he is trying to teach all of us how a devotee has to be very strict in his endeavors. Because manasa, vacha, karmana, a devotee has to be committed in these three things. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 10 characteristics. In a shloka in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, Helo dhunita kedhaya, vishadaya pronmilad amodhaya, samyak shastra vivadaya, rasadaya, chittarpiton madhaya, Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Dayanide Tavadaya Bhuyad Amandodaya. Says Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, Shri Chaitanya Dayanide Tavadaya Bhuyad. Let there be Lord Chaitanya's mercy. How? Hela Buddhanita Kedhaya. The first characteristic is he drives away material lamentation. Second, Vishadaya, he purifies everything. Then, Pronmilat Amodaya, he awakens transcendental bliss. Next, Samyat Shastra Vivadaya, he mitigates any disagreement of scriptures. Because some scriptures say Vishnu is the supreme, some scriptures say Brahma is the supreme, some scriptures say Shiva is the supreme. He mitigates complete disagreement among all scriptures. Only one conclusion. Rasadaya, he distributes all transcendental mellows. Chittarpita Unmadaya, he causes jubilation of heart. Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya, he always stimulates devotional service. Samadaya, along with full ecstasy and joy. Madhurya Maryadaya, he glorifies the limit of conjugal love. Amanda Udaya, an awakening of good fortune. These are the 10 characteristics of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So how he is reforming the devotees in this material world? He himself personally has come. And by cleansing, see, first thing is he drives away all material lamentation. So when matter is gone, then we come to the neutral stage. Then he purifies everything, any contamination, everything is sterilized. Next, he awakens the transcendental bliss. Then mitigates the disagreement of scriptures. So conclusions are certified. Then distributes all transcendental mellows, all various kinds of rasas, by which person who is participating, his heart becomes jubilant. When you start practicing bhakti, your heart becomes jubilant, and which further activates his devotion service to pure category. When it is perfection, then one experiences ecstasy and joy. Then comes to the highest limit of madhurya rasa. And finally, awakening of good fortune, Amanda Udaya. They go back home, back to God. This is the ecstatic, this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How he is personally guiding the devotees. So, Govinda Dasa Kaviraja had explained the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a song. He says, Gauranga Karuna Sindhu Avatara Nijaguna Ghatiya Nama Chintamani Jagat Parailahara. So, Gauranga Karuna Sindhu Avatara. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is Karuna Sindhu Avatara. He is an ocean of compassion. Karuna Sindhu Avatara. Nijaguna Ghatiya Nama Chintamani Jagate Parailahara. By his own virtue, Nijaguna, Ghatiya Nama Chintamani Jagate Parailahara. He has strung together the thought jewels of names and festooned the world. The holy name, he made it into like a hara, and he decorated the entire world with that hara. Kali Timirakula Akila Loka Deki Vadana Chandra Parakasha. Kali Timirakula Akila Loka Deki. Seeing that entire world is trapped in this darkness of this Kali Yuga. Kali Timira. It is like a darkness of Kali Yuga. Akula, he became very anxious towards them, distraught because of when everything is dark, we are very anxious. When sunlight is there, we become very active. In darkness, we become very much confused. Seeing that entire world was caught up in the cycle of this darkness of Kali Yuga, Vadana Chandra Prakasha, he manifested the moon of his face. By his glaring effulgence from his face, he dissipated the darkness of this Kali Yuga. Lochana Prema Sudha Rasa Varishana Jagajana Tapa Vinasha. Lochana Prema Sudha Rasa Varishana. With the shower of rasa of the nectar of prema from his eyes. That compassionate look from his eyes, that look itself was like a shower of rain. Jagajana Tapa Vinasha, and he has dispelled the miseries of the people of the world. Jagajana Tapaha. When we are struck in that hot season, suddenly a rain will relieve all our fatigue. So, Jagajana Tapa Vinasha. That rain which came from the eyes, compassionate eyes of the Lord, removed all the exhaustion of the devotees. Bhakata Kalpataru Antare Antaru Ropali Tamahi Tama. So, he planted the desire trees of his bhaktas. Bhakata Kalpataru Antare Antaru. From place to place, from there to there. In every town and village, he planted some pure devotees, who are all Kalpatarus. Yachu Padatala Avalambane Pantika Purala Nija Nija Kama. So, in the shelter of the souls of whose feet travelers have fulfilled their own respective desires. Baba Gajendra Chadayala Akinchana Aichana Pahuka Vilasa. He has mounted the destitute on the king elephant of Bhava. Samsara Kalakuta Vishe Dagadala Ekali Govinda Dasa. So he is Aichana Pahuka Vilasa, such is the sport of our master. But Samsara Kalakuta Vishe Dagadala Ekali Govinda Dasa. Only Govinda Dasa has been burnt by this deadly Kalakuta poison of samsara. So he is saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to liberate everybody, but this Govinda Dasa was so unfortunate, he burnt in that Kalakuta Visha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's magnanimity, his entire perspective is focusing on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy for every common man. So one more devotee explained these verses in another way. He says, Ki boliba karuna kata ye vishaya vishapite chila taranama amiya piyaila. So how can I relate the compassion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Ye vishaya vishapite chila, he dragged away the pot of poison. Taranama amiya piyaila, and he made them drink the ambrosia of his holy name. Ye vishaya vishapite chila taraname amaya piyaila vishaya vishaya bhande kedalaya taranama amiya piyaila vishaya vishaya bhande kedalaya. So he made everybody to drink the nectar of his holy name. Someone who was bound to drink the poison of mundanity, snatching away the pot of mundanity, he caused one to drink the nectar of the holy name. Aya bole Bahu Pashariye Hiyaya Dhare Vishaya Visha Bhanda Kedalaya Nija Sevaya Lubda Kaila. So snatching away that pot of sense gratification, he said, come. Bahu Pashariya Hiyaya Dhare. By raising his hands, he was calling everybody, please come to me, please come to me. Then Nija Sevaya Lubda Kaila. Then he made one desirous of his own service. He brought them closer to them and made them anxious to do his service, desirous of having service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ye ripu sevaya mattachila, tare nija sevaya lubda kaila, tara dile nija seva adhikara. So those who are engaged in the service of their enemies, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, he took away service from that. And Nija Sevaya Lubda Kaila, he made them serve the Supreme Lord himself in his form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tara Dila Nija Seva Adhikara, he gave them the empowerment. Yes, you are the rightful person to engage in my service. Mayara Lati Koyaya Swabhava, Yara Tala Tare Dila Nija Seva Adhikara. Those who have been given the entrustment of taking beatings from Maya, he took away the Lati from them and gave them the empowerment of his own service. Tare Kaila Vrajagopi, Ye Maya Kupe Shila Duhi, Tare Kaila Vrajagopi. He made one a Vrajagopi, someone who was submerged in the well of Maya, he made them a Vrajagopi. Sai Bola Ami Radha Dasi, Yara Galaya Chila Mayara Pasi, Sai Bole Ami Radha Dasi. Those who are all servants of Maya, now they proudly declare, we are servants of Radharani. Earlier we were all proudly under the servant of Maya. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made them proudly the servants of Radharani. Akinchana Pahuka Vilasa Eita Gaura Karunarakata. So such is the sport of our master. This is the narration of Gaura's compassion. Amara Durdeva Kata Suna Bai Govinda Dasa Kede Bolechen Amara Durdeva Kata Suna Bai. Please hear this unfortunate situation of this Govinda Dasa, my dear brother. Eita Govinda Dasera Kata Nai Bhai Gaura Priya Parikara Eita Govinda Dasera Kata Nai Bhai. This indeed not actually a statement of Govinda Dasa, oh brother, who is a dear associate of Gaura. This indeed is actually a statement from Govinda Dasa. Says, Amadera Dasaya Dadhaye Bolechen Amadera Abhava Anubhava Karabara Lagi Amadera Dasaya Dhadaye Bolechen. standing in our conditioned state, he is speaking for the sake of our perceiving our own condition. He is speaking as if he is like a bound up person, like a baddha jiva. Samsara kalakuta vishe tanu dagadala ekali Govinda Dasa. So by the deadly poison of samsara, he alone was burnt. Ami kevala jwale malam, samsara kalakuta vishapane ami kevala jwale malam. By drinking this deadly poison of samsara, I alone burnt to death. So as a common man, as a conditioned soul, he is exhibiting this mode. So one more point was explaining what was the intention of Govinda Dasa when he compiled this perspective. As a conditioned soul, leaving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we are all suffering in this Kalakota Visha of Kali, Samsara Chakra. So how Lord is very anxious, the devotees, pure devotees of the Lord are also very anxious in delivering the souls for taking them back home, back to God. Ekabundu parasahala nare jagat bashala premera vanyaya amaya ekabindu parishahala nare. The touch of one drop from Gaura has set the world afloat in a flood of prema. The touch of one drop, but I am not able to access that touch of one drop. Ami abhimana maneche vashe railama amaye ekabindu parasahala nare. I am sitting on a platform of pride and I am not able to access that one touch of the drop of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. When ahankara is there, one will be not able to come to the mercy of, one will be not able to come under devotional service. Ami abhamana manache vashe railama dani mani kulina pandita abhimana vanche vashe railama. So sitting on the platform of pride, thinking that I am a rich man, dani, mani, I am no honorable man, kulina, I am very noble and learned. With all these things, I am sitting on a platform of pride, and one misses to touch the drop of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Ami premadane vanchita halam jagat bashale premera vanyaya ami premadane vanchita halam. So with that, of the wealth of the prema, I became deprived to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ami premadane vanchita halam gaura pahu na bajilama ami premadane vanchita halam. Since sitting on that wealth of prema, I have been deprived. I have not worshipped the lotus feet of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gaura pahu na bajilama bhakta pada duli bhushana kare gaura pahu na bajilama. Adorning myself with the dust of the feet of bhaktas, I have not worshipped the lotus feet of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ami prema pete railama vaki, Shri Guru Vaishnava diya paki, ami prema pete railama vaki. I have remained outstanding to receive the prema. Deceiving Shri Guru and Vaishnavas, I have remained outstanding to receive that prema. External affairs, thinking that I am a great devotee, because I am externally acting, I could not access that dust of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bola bola bhai gaura bola, ara kichu lage na bhola, bola bola bhai gaura bola. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gaura, gaura, bolo, chant. Nothing else appeals. Chant, 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 oh gaura. So in that way, the whole perspective is, we should be free from this pride of arrogance, Janma Ishvara Shrutashri. Only when we become free from this perspective, we can access the dust of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by which we will be able to advance in our spiritual life. So devotees are also so compassionate. There was one such incident in Jayadeva's life history, Jayadeva Goswami, a great personality, a great poet. His father's name was Bojadeva and mother's name was Vamadevi. They were all from a part in Bengal area. In the very initial stage itself, their parents passed away. So, Jayadeva was left alone. But his devotion to the Lord did not keep him like alone. He was always engrossed in the singing of the glories of the Lord. So, accidentally, there was one person who was like a villain in that village. He used to give loans and he used to extort bigger interest. That person's name was Niranjan. Now he understood the situation. His father, Jayadev Goswami's father, took very small amount, but this person came up with so much idea that he wanted to snatch away Jayadeva's house from him. He created fabricated false documents, showed up that so much debt was remaining, and the only way how Jayadeva can repay the debt was hand over his house, which was some nice palatial house, and he will be free from that debt. So Jayadeva, who was only engrossed in the holy name of the Lord, did not bother, because he could understand this person is all faking around. My father took only small amount. He did not want to argue, he did not want to prove something. So when the documents were put in front of everybody, all the villagers and all, then he immediately signed without even second thought. He just signed it. As soon as he signed, this person's, Niranjan's son came running and he said, my dear father, please come home. Father was asking, what happened? What happened? Our home is burning. Our house is burning. Please come, please come. So Niranjan started running. As soon as Jayadeva heard that somebody's house was burning, if we would have been there, we would have thought, nice punishment he got. He tried to cheat me and he immediately, his house, he wanted to snatch my house, his house is gone. But Jayadeva was the first to respond. He ran away there and he entered into the house because there were his wife and small children who had to be brought out. He took as a devotee perspective, okay, this person is a cheater, but they are innocent people. Why they have to be punished for his atrocious act? But as soon as he entered the house, the entire flames vanished. The house was normal in its shape and everybody was safe and secure. And that person, Niranjan, could understand what a mistake I had done. I tried to cheat a pure devotee. Lord tried to show me what happens if I do a cheating to a pure devotee. So immediately he came forward. Again he called all the villagers to his house and he paid obeisances to Jayadeva and he immediately tore that agreement and said, nothing, you need not give me anything, I need not take anything from you. And he became so inspired by Jayadeva's bhakti that he became a follower and he became a staunch devotee in that area of propagation of the holy name of the Lord. See how a devotee, by his simple actions, can transform a person who is of very hard mentality also. Somebody very much engrossed in money, very difficult to come out. But pure devotee's touch and his sincerity in repenting, like who was that Nityananda Prabhu punished? Jagai Madai. They were Jai Vijaya only in the spiritual world, who again came to enact this pastime. So when they offended Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to kill them. He invaded, even Sudarshan Chakra came there. But Nityananda Prabhu said, you have promised in this incarnation, you will not accept your weapons. You will not kill anybody. But you will kill the mentality in them. If you have to transform by killing, then entire world has to be killed. There will be nobody spared because everybody is sinful persons. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in this Kali Yuga is, he will kill our sinful mentality, he will not kill the person. So he gave one condition to Jagai Madai, that you have to accept, from today you will forget all the old habits and lead the life of a devotional service. On that condition, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted them into his association and they stood by that commitment, and the entire life they became a pure devotees and they became celebrated all over the world. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name became glorified because they gave a commitment and stood there by commitment. So we'll stop here. Any questions or doubts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You said that one who tries to cheat a pure devotee, so he will be taught a lesson, and Lord will not allow to be. Similarly, if someone practicing sadhaka is there, in the material world we deal with so many people, and sometimes people try to cheat us and they also engross on our things. So there may be a teaching for ourselves from the Lord, sometimes to learn how the material world works, and sometimes to detach, and so many things may be there. And so how do we understand, Prabhu? Do they also be, will they also be treated?
See, two perspectives can it be. First thing is, last life I would have cheated him, and this life he is taking it back. Because we don't know where it started. This karma cycle is such a way that when it started, which life it started, we don't know. It could be that somewhere he's just taking back what we have done in the previous life. Or in this life, if he is starting, and if we are trying to aspire, we are in an aspiration of a devotee. Now, what is your mood? How do you react? Like how Jayadeva reacted? Are we reacting in the same mood? So, our intentions are also very required. How we are setting as an example for others. If we are in a pure intention, if we want reformation for him, if you pray for the Lord to give him good mentality, good intelligence, so that he can reform, Lord may accept it. But again, that Jiva's independence is still there. In such he may come across some circumstances because he may get some realization that he had offended a devotee, or he have even offended somebody else, even a normal person also. If he had some sincerity, if he repents for that purpose, Lord will purify him. But if he tries to make business out of that situation, then no chance. That nature becomes exploitative. He starts exploiting one and everybody. He has to suffer. So our mode is, okay, we are practicing devotee. What should I think for him? Should only pray for the Lord, give him good intelligence. Okay. No, the only 3 times it was said and 3 times that was done. No, in our time it is very long time. In Maha Vishnu period, not even 1 day of Brahma means. It is just one swasa nishwasa. That is very minute time in comparison to the Supreme Lord. So we are seeing from our perspective. We should see from Lord's perspective. So that itself is an association. Serve the Lord itself is the association. Because the mood in which they want to be servants of the Lord, they want to be very protective. Nobody enters into the association of the Lord who are not in a proper mentality. That is their duty. Like when you come, when you want to do some service, whatever service is given, we will do that. No conditions. I will only do this service. I will not do some other service. So this is their standard service, and they have been apprised of that service. That's it. That's it. This is also direct association only, no? See, when you say Vaikuntha Loka, in one Vaikuntha, how many lords will be there? Only one. What is the population of one Vaikuntha? It is much more than one universe. In one universe, how many jivas are there? Unlimited. In one Vaikuntha, there are unlimited jivas and there is only one Lord. Because we are thinking physical. Only one person, so many people will have his association. Next to him, maybe few people. But in the spiritual world, everything is absolute in nature. The associations, trees are also getting association of the Lord. Like everybody, plants are getting association of the Lord, flowers are getting association of the Lord, birds and beasts are also getting association of the Lord. The mood in which they are associating, that is the mood, spiritual body, so there is no distinct difference there. Gross body, we feel differentiation. In spiritual body, they don't feel the differentiation. Because Lord will be going out of the house and coming out of the house. So always the doorkeepers will get an opportunity to see him. Not whole day he will be sleeping, no. Sometimes he'll come out also, no. So opportunity is there. You don't feel like Lord will only be sleeping, he will never come out of the door, so where is the association? They will get their association. So limitation is in our material mentality, not in spiritual understanding. Okay. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru